In the last 24 hours, President Trump just dropped a huge truth bomb on the American people, which absolutely could skyrocket cryptocurrency.
Starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174.
With more data coming out suggesting that average Americans are going to have significantly more money in their pockets and an economy that is booming, it is only a matter of time until interest rates drop through the floor. We're going to break down exactly what happened and the two further hugely positive announcements for cryptocurrency, which is about to send crypto to a brand new all-time high. Don't believe me? Stick around, watch this video. It's about to get crazy. But before that, hit the like and subscribe button. Every day we bring you the latest content, breaking news, and make sure your portfolio is dialed in. And psst, by the way, we pretty much called every single move in the charts over the last 48 hours. So what are you waiting for? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. So as you can see here on the charts, the price of Bitcoin is on the move, retaking 117 back into that channel, which although might feel a little bit disappointing given all of the super crazy macro news we had, this was a good news story. And actually altcoins were moving as well. If you haven't checked out my XRP video about the fact the SEC has dropped that, well, it's just another great day in the crypto markets. But I want to talk specifically about what was announced in the White House in the last 24 hours, namely the fact that we got that big jobs data report, and more importantly, Trump coming out with some very bullish news for average Americans. Take a listen.
So I was telling the president that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. Month by month, with median household income, this is based on unpublished Census Bureau data. It will be released sometime in the next 6 months, but we get an advanced look at it. And so I was telling the president in his first 5 months in office, starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174. That's an
incredible number.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, this is a very good news story. It absolutely aligns to an economy that is thriving right now. And many times we've been debating interest rates. We've been debating whether Jerome Powell is going to drop those rates. And more importantly, with all of this news coming out, it is playing perfectly into the announcement that, well, the interest rates are coming down. And there is even bigger news when we get to talk about the Fed in just a minute. But 92.7% now are predicting a rate cut. You look at October, it is another rate cut coming in. And then into December, we're pretty much dialing in a 0.75% rate cut by the end of the year. I actually think it's going to be more given the data that we just listened to. So let's break down some key things that happened and why this is such a big deal. Well, first and foremost, let me show you this chart. Institutional demand for Bitcoin continues to outweigh the fact that we can only produce 450 Bitcoin every single day. 97,082 is the supply. 545,000 is what's been bought. The insatiable appetite for institutions is growing, and it's just got a whole lot bigger. What am I talking about? Well, President Trump today did announce that he is going to democratize access to alternative assets for 401k investors. Wow, this is a big news story. What does it mean? Basically, 401ks now can invest in alternative assets such as Bitcoin, altcoins, and again, other bits and pieces out of this market. So this is a crazy announcement. By the way, this is an $8.8 trillion market that's soon to be heading into Bitcoin. And if you think about how Bitcoin's performed versus other equities that maybe you invest in as a 401k, it is the best asset 8 out of the last 11 years. So if you were sat here going, oh, this is just some more noise to it, I told you yesterday in your comments that you talk rubbish. Understand how crazy this is. This is an $8.8 trillion market in which they are looking for hedges against reward, and Bitcoin is the best asset 8 out of the last 11 years. So this is a big deal, and it's gone to the president's desk and it's been signed off. So this is a monumental deal. Now, let's talk a little bit about how big this truly is. First and foremost, we need to hear here. This is the number of Bitcoin available on exchanges as of right now. You see the number here is 2.108 million. And again, that's just up a little bit. Now, you may be thinking, 2-bit, why is this important? Well, when we start to talk about what is the total size of the 401k market, like I said, it's about $8 trillion. So what does that look like as an investment into Bitcoin? Well, you can start to work out in terms of value. 1% would be around $80 billion, all the way up to 10%, which could be $800 billion flowing into the market. Attach that to a Bitcoin value. 1% is around 687,000 Bitcoin. Here's the crazy kicker. A 3% allocation of 401k funds would basically buy every single Bitcoin available right now on those cryptocurrency exchanges. Start to put 10% in, we need more Bitcoin. This would be the official rotation of capital. Those that have held on to those big bags would sell, and the 401k investors would come in. This is going to skyrocket Bitcoin to prices that we have never even imagine. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow, by the way, but if you assume that a 3% allocation is basically going to buy every single Bitcoin available on exchanges right now, you understand the magnitude of this. And this is a monumental shift in both policy and in monetary value attached to this big market. But this wasn't all. This wasn't it. Trump wasn't finished. He also announced that he was going to be guaranteeing fair banking for all Americans, which basically allows banks to now stop banning cryptocurrency based on their views. So not only have you got the ability for the 401k market to come into this market, we're basically telling banks that you better let them, because if you don't, well, we're going to get you. This is another enormous announcement and final announcement that came in. And this one was even more out of the blue. Obviously, we know that Annalena Kungler is leaving the Federal Reserve tomorrow. Her time is up and she is out of here. Well, on the back of that, we got even more big news that was announced. And actually, this is as good as we get. The new appointee for the Federal Reserve is a pro-cryptocurrency individual, and this is pretty bullish indeed. And his name is Stephen Mirren. He has been known for pro-cryptocurrency view, and he's currently the head of the Associate for Economies and stuff. It's absolutely crazy bullish. You can tell how excited I am by it. So not only do we have all of this macro news coming on, again, Stephen Mirren is going into the federal board, and I'm certainly he's going to bring interest rates down and, more importantly, support a pro-cryptocurrency statement, which is great news indeed. And like I said, there's been lots of chatter, lots of excitement here. The Blockchain Association CEO Summer Masinga saying that today's executive orders from President Trump mark a historic shift in how the US treats digital assets. I could not agree more. It is a breathtaking day in the crypto markets. And as always, people will say, well, 2-bit, it's a load of nonsense. Oh, you always say the market's going to pump. Well, yesterday I said Trump was going to pump the markets. And guess what? That's exactly what he did. So if you want to stay up to date with all the things going on in the markets, you want to understand the charts, and again, make sure your portfolio is growing. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. There is no paid Patreons, no nonsense on this channel. We bring you the facts and we make sure you are dialed in. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell to all. That way you don't miss a live stream, 4 p.m. Eastern, or our latest content every single day. With that being said, I'm out of here, but what a day to be invested in the crypto markets.